Alright, this is gonna be a quick video. Um, the reason I'm talking so low is because I'm tired as balls, so forgive me for that. Um, yeah, this video is just gonna be about WWE All Stars, the video game that's coming out March 29th. At first I wasn't too interested in the game, but now, for whatever reason, I'm starting to get really interested in it, and just can't wait for it to come out. I want to try it out. But a couple days ago they had the first part 1 of 2. They were also revealed on IGN, and part 2 is coming up, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, whenever the 24th is. So I just thought I'd give my predictions, I'd say guesses, whatever, on who those 8 remaining superstars are for the part 2 of the roster reveal. So yeah, let's get started. The first one, all the way over the second row, all the way to the left, under Jack Swagger and Ricky Steamboat, and above Roddy Piper and Rey Mysterio, I believe is Jimmy Snuka. Just because of the way the hair is, and it looks like a headband is going over the forehead. It's kind of obvious. The one right next to him and below Ricky Steamboat and Sheamus, I believe is CM Punk, because of the way the hair looks, and just the hairline on top of his head just looks it looks the way CM Punk's hair was, and I really don't see this being anyone else other than CM Punk, so yeah. And the one to the left of him and to the right of us, and the one right next to Hulk Hogan and below Sheamus, is most likely Stone Cold. Most because he's bald, he does that I don't give a shit stance, and you can kind of see his vest over him on his left shoulder, or right shoulder, anyway. And the one right underneath him is obviously Undertaker. Just look at the gloves. It's without a doubt Undertaker. If you don't know what that is, next to Rey Mysterio and The Rock. And then go all the way to the right, next to Eddie Guerrero, who is awesome, thank God he's in the game, and Kofi Kingston, and right underneath Bret Hart. That's probably the most tricky one, but judging from his knee pads, and the way his hands are, I'm gonna say The Miz, actually. This could be multiple superstars. I don't know. I'm like, out of all of them, I would say it's The Miz most likely, because he's probably the biggest out of them all. Not the biggest, but just the way he looks, it'll make the most sense. I'll get to who they could be in a minute. And the one above him and right next to Bret Hart and underneath Sergeant Slaughter, it's most likely Shawn Michaels. Just because of the cowboy hat, unless it's Cowboy Bob Orton, but he'd be a little fatter, so my guess is Shawn Michaels. And then you have the one in between Edge and Sergeant Slaughter, and above John Morrison and Bret Hart, who is without a doubt Mr. Perfect. If you don't believe me, look up Google Images, Mr. Perfect. There's an image of him exactly like that. So yeah, that's Mr. Perfect. Now back to the one where I don't know who it is. Superstars that it could be, I'd say, are really the only 3 that I even say are The Miz, Chris Jericho, or Christian. And the thing with Christian is that he doesn't necessarily wear knee pads, he wears tights, so that kind of rules him out. The only reason I would say Christian is because the way the hands are, he kind of does that, like, come and get some type of thing, that kind of taunt. So that's why I was guessing him, but the knee pads kind of give it away that's not him. Chris Jericho, I would say, has a high chance, because he does wear the short tights now, as opposed to the longer tights. And the hand motion could fit both him and The Miz. Probably The Miz more, but whatever. The only thing that goes against Jericho is the hair. He has that kind of like spugged, mohawked type of hair, so that kind of rules him out. But the thing is, so does The Miz, so I don't know what's going on with the hair up there, because both Jericho and The Miz have spiked hair. So yeah, out of all of them, out of all the 8, I would say this is probably the most tricky to figure out. But on to the next part of the video. I still have 10 minutes to play with. There's going to be DLC for the game. DLC that's announced right now is Hulk and Animal, which if you don't know who they are, and I know I sound like a giant prick for saying that for people who do know who they are, but just in case the 6-year-old Cena fans are watching this, members of the Legion of Doom, probably in my opinion the best tag team ever. Just look up a video of them on YouTube, look up an entrance, and the crowd goes absolutely ballistic. It's insane. And the cool thing about that, it kind of gives away that there are going to be tag team matches in the game. Like, it makes no sense if Hulk and Animal were just in there for singles competition. They could have been 2 other superstars. And I doubt it's going to be tag in, tag out, like, tag team matches. It's probably going to be tornado tag team matches, but still, nonetheless, it's always good working with a partner online, so that when you're getting your ass kicked because of a lag, you have someone to back you up. So that's a good thing. Also, more DLC that's announced. For the Legends are Dusty Rhodes and the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, and for the Superstars are Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. Good news and bad news. Good news, all 4 of them are awesome. Bad news, both Ted DiBiase's are GameStop pre-order exclusives, which means you have to wait until the very last DLC pack to finally get them for most likely 99 cents. Or for Xbox 360, I have no idea what, 100 Microsoft points, I don't know. So, yeah, that's for the DLC. But they also announced that there's going to be 10 more Superstars in DLC, or at least I think they announced that. I saw it online, I saw it on like a forum or something. But if there is, I'm just going to give my picks on who those 10 Superstars might be. There's most likely going to be 6 for the Superstars and 4 for the Legends, seeing as how, just because there already are 4 Legends and 2 Superstars, so you need to get 2 more Superstars than the Legends, so you can have like an equal balance between them, because that's what I feel like they're doing, is have like equal Legends and Superstars in the game, which is a good thing. So yeah, here are my picks. For the Legends, I'd say there are 5. There are most likely going to be 4, but I have 5 on here that could be in the game. 1 being Bob Orton. Reasons for that is, 1, he was involved in the main event at WrestleMania 1. He didn't necessarily wrestle in the match, but he did play a part by hitting Paul Orndorff in the head with his cast, so that's a good reason. And 2, of course, being the most important reason probably, is that he's Randy Orton's father. So I see them putting him in the game. Next is, I see being the British Bulldog. For 1, he's probably the best superstar that never held the WWF Championship. He held every major title in that company except for the World Championship. So that's a sad thing, but definitely a very good thing as well, if that makes any sense. And 2, of course, he's somewhat related to Bret Hart, and they have kind of a connection in the wrestling industry. So yeah, I see them putting him in the game too. 3, Iron Sheik, and the reason for him is he was one of the biggest superstars in the 80s. Him and Hulk Hogan had a rivalry that was intense and everything, so I see them putting him in the game as well. 4, Jerry Lawler. 1, of course, being he is the king, and 2, he is a commentator in the game, so I see them putting him in the game for comedy reasons, have him commentating by himself in the game. And 2, just, he does wrestle every now and again on Raw, so I see them putting him in the game. That wouldn't make sense. And 5, Junkyard Dog. If out of all 5 of them, I'd say this is probably the most unlikely, but I would love to see him in the game, just because the crowd really loved him every time he came into the ring. He was really over, and I am a personal fan of him. So yeah, the only thing that I would say going against him and British Bulldog and all them is that they're dead, But Andre the Giant and Eddie Guerrero are in the game, so I don't see why they can't put them in the game too. But like I said, out of the 5 of these, the one that probably won't make it a Junkyard Dog, if not him, then I'd say most likely Iron Sheik, because Jerry Lawler, British Bulldog, and Bob Orton have more than one reason to be in the game. Iron Sheik and Junkyard Dog I wouldn't say there's as much reasons for the other three, but Iron Sheik definitely overpowers Junkyard Dog as to who's more legendary, at least in my opinion. And as for the superstars, there are 6 of them, so it's going to be longer. First superstar, Chris Jericho. For one, he reads way too many X-Men comics, meaning he's the best in the world at what he does. And what he does, I do not know. And 2, he's held every major title in the WWE, including the world titles. He's probably one of their best superstars ever. He was around in the Attitude Era, he was around now. His debut and comeback were both amazing. He's, like I said, probably one of the best superstars, and there's no reason not to have him in the game. 2, Evan Bourne. If they have Kofi Kingston, Jack Swagger, Sheamus, John Morrison, and most likely Drew McIntyre in the game, then I don't see why Evan Bourne can't be in here. He's one of the best / misused superstars in the WWE today. He had a little feud with Jericho in 2010, but that unfortunately went nowhere. Then he got injured, and also the crowd really loves him. He always gets a big pop when he comes to the ring, so I don't see why they won't put him in the game. If they have Kofi Kingston and John Morrison in there, I don't see why they can't put him in here too. 3, Goldust. 1, of course, being he is purely awesome, and 2, he's related to Cody Rhodes and Dusty Rhodes. Of course, being the son of Dusty Rhodes and the brother of Cody Rhodes. But, Goldust is just so awesome not to have in the game. Although, it would be interesting to see how they cartoonize him or something. It'll be interesting to see how he looks in the game. That'll be a cool thing. 3, or rather 4, I see being R-Truth. There's reasons that I'll get to at the end, but one reason I can name right now is that the crowd does like him, except for Milwaukee, of course, but that's not the point. The crowd is into him, and I see him being in this game too. 5, Christian. 1, he's Edge's former tag partner, so if they do have tag team matches in the game, that could be a cool Edge and Christian versus the Road Warriors thing, or the Legion of Doom, whatever you want to call them. And 2, he's just another amazing misused superstar within the WWE, so I think he should be in the game as well. And 6, Wade Barrett. Just because the Nexus storyline running throughout 2010 up until maybe, I'd say, Night of Champions is when it started dying. After SummerSlam, it looked like Nexus was dead, and he had the title match, so it was somewhat there. Then they just completely buried it. And then the Hell in a Cell thing with John Cena kind of reopened it, but then John Cena, they didn't do anything with him at all. So that storyline was just a complete waste of time with John Cena firing and all that, so that didn't really matter. But that's not the point. Up until maybe Night of Champions, some might say SummerSlam, the Nexus storyline was the best within any wrestling company. So that's why I believe he should be in the game. And 2 superstars I did leave out that I do want to mention, and this is the reason for R-Truth being in the game as well, are Daniel Bryan and Alberto Del Rio. Reasons, they're just too new to the WWE. Alberto Del Rio is very new. He was around, let's see, since I think only October. Maybe September, I don't know. But, yeah, he's way too new. And Daniel Bryan was, fired or whatever in the summer. So they might have taken him out of the game, and SummerSlam was maybe just too late to put him back in the game. So, yeah, those 2 are too new. I don't see them being in the game. I would like to see both of them in the game, but I don't think it's going to happen. But, there most likely is a creator wrestler mode in the game, so we can create them both. And as for the rest of the roster, it's looking good, and the game itself is looking very good. I'm looking forward to getting it, and sorry for making this so-called quick video.